Welcome back to another GTN Coaches Corner, where you can ask us your triathlon-related questions using the hashtag GTN Coaches Corner. You can leave them in the comment section below this video or below any video for that matter. We got loads of questions this week. So kicking off with this one from Marlon Paz. I started swimming about 7 months ago and I recently completed a super sprint distance triathlon. I would like to increase my endurance, so I went to a master's swimming tryout and I felt fine while swimming. We were in the water for an hour, which is the longest I've ever been. After I jumped out of the water, my stomach felt bloated and was not a good experience, and I'm wondering if that's normal, what causes it, and how can I prevent it from happening? I think the way they said it was not a good experience was very tactful.
Yeah, not a good experience. It's a subtle way of putting it. Stomach cramps and bloating are not normal after every swim, and there's something causing it. What exactly it might be for you, we don't really have enough in details to tell you exactly what it is. What it might be, though, is simply from your swimming position, your stomach position. If you're taking something in, if you're consuming any sugary drinks or anything that might cause gas, even something before you swam, and your body is then in a horizontal position with almost no blood flow to the stomach for a whole hour, it's going to cause issues. Essentially, it's going to cause gas, it's going to cause bloating, and unlike when you're out of the water and you're upright, the gas has nowhere to go. You're not going to burp it out. So it gets stuck, you get a bit of an airlock almost in there, you might be swallowing a bit of water on top of that, which doesn't help, and you get out and you can have bloating and cramping, and it's very uncomfortable. I always found that if I drank significantly anything, even if it was just water, while I was swimming, I would start getting stomach cramping and bloating when I was swimming. It was just, my body just couldn't deal with it when I was horizontal and swimming hard, the lack of blood flow. So I pretty much just didn't drink. I'd make sure I was hydrated before a swim session, and I'd make sure I was rehydrating immediately afterwards, and during the session I just wouldn't really drink.
It's not something I have ever really come across or thought about. The only other thing I can think, although you probably notice this whilst you're swimming, is if you're just gasping every time you take a breath, like taking a really big breath, and then you're struggling to let go of all that air, and then big breath again. Maybe just that constant build of just taking, I don't know, I guess you'd notice it whilst you're swimming though.
No, I think there is a fact or a case of swallowing air, essentially. When you do that gulp, when you're holding your breath maybe for a second or two under the water, you're not just breathing in, you're also swallowing at the same time, and you're swallowing just a small bubble every time, and obviously over an hour that's going to build up, and again, because you're horizontal, you can't just burp it out when you get to the edge of the pool. It stays there and cramps, so maybe focusing a bit more on your breathing may help. Like I said, we don't really have enough details to tell you exactly what's causing it, but maybe that's pointed you in the right direction.
Yeah, nice one.
Okay, on to our next one, and this is from S-Hi. Hashtag GTN Coaches Corner. I'm a kid and I'm quite serious about triathlon. I swim around 5 times a week with my swim club. How many times per week should I be cycling and running around school if I want to go pro? Whoa, he wants to go pro.
Yeah, well, we
goals.
obviously don't know quite how old he is, but yeah, swimming 5 times a week and dreams of going pro is pretty serious. Well, I'd probably say running 3 times a week would be okay, providing it's not too much of a burden, and really taking into account the age. If you're really young, like you want to start off really light with the running, because it is impact, it's weight bearing. Cycling less so important at a young age. What I would say, and it seems to be invaluable when kids do work on it at a young age, is technical work when they're young. Because no one spends the time when they're older working on technical work.
No.
But you have the excuse to when you're a kid. Swimming though, I mean, whilst 5 times a week may sound crazy, actually might not be a bad idea as a youngster, because it's a really good way of conditioning you, building up that aerobic conditioning, endurance and fitness without weight bearing. So actually quite a good way of...
if you're looking at elite triathlon later on down the line, you do need to have that swimming set first, and also the running, the ability to be efficient, and the impact of running at a fairly young age, building that up slowly as you get older. And the cycling is a skill, because it's basically your legs are just turning in circles. It's just like Mark says, the technical ability on the cycle that you need to hone in later on. The actual endurance you can hone in earlier on. So that would be the order we would say you preference it. If you do have serious goals in triathlon, it is a very tricky balance. You can't do what junior elite swimmers do and junior elite cyclists do and junior elite runners do all at once and hope that you're going to come out as a junior elite triathlete. That's not how it works. So if you do have serious goals, I'd suggest you find some expert advice, more than Mark and I can give you on this show. Actually reach out to someone specific, maybe at British Triathlon or somewhere else where you are, who can give you specific advice on how to structure your training for your specific age and where you currently are to get to your goals.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question from Ivan Cochran. Hello, friends. Going for my first triathlon at Ironman Austria on July the 3rd. And yep, never done any. Going straight for a long distance. Good man. My question is regarding the run. I've been slowly ramping up distance for almost 2 years. Now I can do a 34k session once a week, but I end up absolutely destroyed. My legs are fatigued for 4 days. It hinders my next run, my biking and my gym strength training. My legs are always fatigued and I can't seem to recover in time to do smaller runs and at the same time keep the long runs coming. There isn't enough recovery time in a week. How can I do a long run a week and a few short ones, also with a long bike and a few short ones? Oh, it goes on, yeah. Okay,
yeah, Ironman's ultimate puzzle. How do you fit it all in? Well, the answer is you can't, or not like that. A 34k run every week is big. I mean, that's a lot. That's pro level. Pros,
even then you won't get.
There's not all the pros are going to be running 34ks every weekend. That is pretty extreme, and you've kind of answered your question yourself right there. How can I do this? Because I can't recover from it and do the other shorter sessions that I'm supposed to do in between. And the reality is, you can't. You need to find another way to do it, and what I would suggest is alternating. So what you do is a long ride one weekend, and you do a long run the other weekend, and you alternate those. And after that long run week, which is obviously, as you know, going to smash you, you take a few days easier, you cut down the running for a few days, and make sure you're recovering from it. And then you get the rest of the training done over the next 10 days, and then you do another weekend where you have a long run. Not trying to do 34Ks every weekend. Very few, if any, Ironman athletes actually do that. I'm not sure where you got that from.
I think people, they see the snapshot days of pros or certain age group athletes and think that they should be doing that, and probably every week. Yeah. Another thing just on long runs, like looking at it in the whole, is basically long runs should not smash you. So if you're doing a long run per week and feeling absolutely smashed, whether it's 20k, 30k, whatever, you shouldn't be smashed at the end of each one. So you want to be building up the distance for those long runs over the course of a year, 2 years, and that whole 10% rule, literally just adding it very, very gradually.
Yeah, as he says, he's built up over 2 years, but then the other possibility is that he's doing it too hard.
Yeah.
A long run is a slow run. It should be long, slow distance. It shouldn't be smashing you like Mark says. If it is smashing you and you have built up really gradually over 2 years and it's still smashing you, it's because you're running it too hard. You need to check those heart rate zones. You need to make sure it's a zone 2 run. You're able to talk the whole time. It is about long, slow distance. It is about building that aerobic base. It's not about smashing yourself at or near race pace. That is not what you should be doing. And if you are doing that and you're feeling that smashed after it, you're either not ready for it or you're doing it way too much.
Actually, that's triggered a thought here, because someone we know quite well did bring up the other day about a long run that they were doing at 4:30 per kilometre pace. And they're training for an Ironman, and we know full well they probably won't be running anywhere near 5 minute per K pace off the bike. So why are they doing that? And that's maybe a question you need to ask yourself. The pace that you're doing those long runs, is it realistic with the pace that you are going to be doing after 180k ride?
Yeah,
anyway, just leave that one there for you.
Okay, on to the next one. Brandon Larkin asks, #GTN Coaches Corner. I'm training for my first 70.3 and I do 2 runs a week as part of my training. 1 short, high intensity run and 1 long, around 13 to 14 miles at race pace. Whoa, this is the same problem as the guy before. I'm seeing incremental gains so far, but I've also read where I should slow down my long runs to get faster over time and prevent injury. I'm willing to do this if it's better for me, but I'm worried I won't be practiced running long distances at race pace if all I ever do is run long runs at slow speeds. Please help.
I think this is quite a simple one, really. A 21k run at race pace isn't a no-no, basically.
Especially if you're training for a 21k at race pace. I mean, you're literally running your race every week to get ready for your race. It's not very practical. And like we said to the previous questioner, you can't be doing this and expect to absorb it and do the rest of your training every week. You can't be training at race pace all the time. Now, you need to know what the benefits are of a long, slow run. And the benefits are multiple. I know you won't be racing at that pace, but a long, slow run serves a very good purpose in your program. It builds your capillary density, it builds your mitochondrial density, it builds your aerobic engine, and it also helps your body learn to use the fuels that it's got stored, the fats, while you're exercising. And all of those things, while they may not be specific at race pace, they are very important for race day. You do need to know how to do all of those things. You do need your body to improve all of those things so that you can sustain your race pace for longer. That is the point of a long run. It is not about testing your ability to hold the race pace for the race distance every week.
Yeah, right. Good question.
Yeah, but you do have to do race pace work too. What you should be doing with the race pace work is splitting it up into intervals. So you should be doing a session where you do race pace intervals, shorter, anywhere from 2 minutes up to maybe 10 minutes at race pace, with breaks in between where you can recover, get your heart rate back down, and absorb some of that before you do it again. You do need to get to that race pace, but you don't need to be doing it for race distance at any point until race day.
No. Right, next question from Scartoons. Hi GTN. On the subject of brick runs, how long can you leave between bike and run for it to count as a brick workout? Is 10 minutes too long? I know people who take that long in transition. What about 30 minutes? Maybe they're just asking for a friend. I don't know.
Yeah. The answer is no time at all. It's a transition. You've got to go as quickly as possible. No, we're just joking. But we're not really joking. Oh, I mean, the point is you need to be practicing for race day, and the quicker you can do it, the more specific it is.
I mean, the way I see it, if you are going to go to the extent of trying to do it fairly soon after bike, it's going to be uncomfortable whatever way you do it. So you might as well just do it straight away and get maximum benefit from it. Now, I do remember Tim Don years ago, we trained together, and he would call it a soft brick session when during the winter, out of season, you would leave it 10, 20 minutes, grab yourself a coffee.
He just wanted a cup of coffee, didn't he?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But that wasn't race specific. We were months out from the race season, but as we got closer to the race season, yes, you just get out the door as soon as you possibly can, get the maximum benefit you can from it.
Yeah, the shorter you can keep that brick session, that transition, the more specific it is. Now, if you've done a long ride and you're then going for a run, it doesn't really matter. You are still going to get some benefit. You're still going to feel that bike in your legs when you start the run. You are still going to get that heavy leg feeling as you start, and you're going to get some benefit. But literally from the minute you get off that bike until you start running, the benefits that you're getting are decreasing every minute. So try and keep it as specific as possible to race day so that you are well prepared on race day for exactly the challenges.
And I tell you what, if you're getting off the bike thinking, oh, God, I don't want to go out for the run right now, and then you leave at 10 minutes, that's only going to get worse, trust us. Once you've sat down on the sofa or you've grabbed yourself a coffee in the kitchen, you're going to leave it in the longer.
Don't even think about it. Have your shoes ready when you finish that bike ride. Hop off your bike, put them on, run out the door, and before you know it, you'll be done and you can have that cup of coffee.
Exactly.
And feel proud of yourself.
Right. Final question from Olivia Hiroz. Hi there. I do practice running, cycling, and now swimming. My main goal is to stay fit. 52 years old. For not a triathlon, said sorry, but a sprint/short duathlon could be an option. What can swimming bring to my running and cycling in order to improve them, and vice versa? What can they bring to my swimming? Thanks a lot in advance.
Well, he says for sure not a tri, but yeah, we've heard that before. The tri bug is pretty catchy. So assuming he isn't going to ever do a triathlon, the question is, why should he swim? Is there any benefit to swimming? And the answer is yes, there is a benefit.
I mean, we kind of covered this a little bit with the younger athlete earlier on about the benefits of swimming in terms of non-weight bearing and really helping to improve just that aerobic endurance, but also the conditioning aspect. And I would also add, probably at an older age as well, but it would probably actually help for just a little bit of flexibility, stretching out, loosening off after some of those bike and run sessions.
Yeah, swimming is aerobic and so is biking and running. So if you're doing that aerobic work and swimming, it is going to translate to your biking and running. And if you're really tapping out your limits as far as your run mileage goes for a week, you can get 2 more half an hour, 45-minute hour sessions of aerobic work a week, which will make you fitter for that running without actually any of the impact which you can't tolerate anymore of for that week. So yes, swimming can have a lot of benefits for your cycling and running, but obviously not if you do it instead of running. Running is going to be more specific, but definitely it's a free add-on with very little risk of injury or risk of overworking yourself or burning out by adding those extra couple of sessions of swimming a week. Yeah, you should absolutely do it. And before you know it, you'll probably be doing a triathlon. Yeah. And so we didn't warn you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this edition of Coach's Corner. If you have, hit the thumbs up button and remember to subscribe to GTN for more videos on triathlon.